Gruesome Magazine.
Hello, once again. I am Doc Rodney, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-hosts Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Dave Dreher, and I will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight, we are reviewing The Cleansing Hour, playing on Shudder. Oh, boy. All right. Before we get into our review, which is we give our first impressions, we talk about the film a little bit, and then we wrap things up with our final thoughts. Our score, 1 to 5. I almost did it right. And we give our favorite scene. Our favorite scene is what you want to hang out for, because that's the fun part. And we often have to try to give it without giving something away. And that's funny. All right, let's find out who the crew are. Starting off with the one and only Jeff Mohr.
Doc, I got to keep moving. The blues are falling down like hail. I got a hellhound on my trail.
Oh my!
Did that make any sense whatsoever? No.
It didn't, but I kind of love it.
Yeah. But you do. There are hellhounds, and I've been feeling like something's watching me ever since I saw this movie.
Yes.
So.
And the hellhounds, the hellhounds are impressive. All right. Also joining this week is Crystal Cleveland, the Living Dead Girl. Crystal, how you doing?
I'm great. I have no intro like Jeff had. I mean,
lyrics from a 1937 song, why would you know that?
So random. That's why I was like, I don't get it, but I'm just gonna pretend.
Yay! Crystal, I think you have a devil on your shoulder there.
I know.
Yes.
I'm glad that's not here.
A nice shot of the Cleansing Hour there behind you. All right. Also joining us is my bud from H&R, Dave Dreher.
Hello. I have nothing witty either. I literally just ran about 30 seconds ago. So you're lucky I have pants on. So
you know what? I've heard that before. We are lucky you have pants on. All right. What film are we talking about? We're talking about The Cleansing Hour, which is landing on Shudder. And here we go. It's coming October 8th. It's on right now. The directors Damien, LeVeck. Writers Damien LeVeck along with Aaron Horwitz. The cast includes Ryan Guzman, Kyle Gallner, Alix. I'm going to say that's Alix. Angelis, Chris Liu Kum Ho. That might be Kum Ho. Koi Hoi. Yes, Kum Hoi. I'm going to say that. I think you're right, Crystal. Daniel,
you just had to linger there, didn't you?
I linger. Oh, pull my finger, watch it linger. Daniel, Hoffman, Gil, Emma Halzer, and Joanna David. Yes, the synopsis is: after another successful exorcism, with air quotes, streamed online, or so it seems, can the Exorcist producer and their team bring the ratings up? Ratings skyrocket when the real demon, gets involved. And all hell breaks loose.
Oh boy!
All right, let's do it. Our first impressions. Crystal, you haven't gone first in a while, so it's your turn. What's your first impression of The Cleansing Hour?
So I had no expectations going into this, and I wasn't really sure what to expect. I thought it was going to be more of a comedy than what it is. I loved this movie, though. It's really quality. It's really made well. The cinematography is nice. I felt like the story was concise and made sense and everything flowed. I thought the acting was phenomenal. I thought all the characters made sense. There's enough backstory and enough story going through, and some of the characters' motivations made sense as far as some of the things that they did or didn't do. And I think there was some CGI for sure, and some of it was and it's definitely not my preference, but there was also a lot of practical effects that I really enjoyed. There was some blood, there was some fire, there was some exorcisms, and I love religious movies. It's one of my favorites. Religious and supernatural are absolutely my faves, so I was completely behind this. I think it was super entertaining. It wasn't as funny, though, as I thought it was going to be. So if you're going and looking for a straight up comedy, it's really not. It's a lot more serious than I thought. I don't know why I thought it was just going to be funny, because you got a faux exorcism, dude. That just sounds funny. But yeah, It was pretty. And then the end was fun.
Yes, I will say I love it when a horror movie sticks the landing. I do. All right, Dave Dreher, you're up next. What is your first impression of The Cleansing Hour?
Oh, you just said it. My first impression is I love it when they stick a landing.
Yes,
kind of one of the better endings in a while. I went into this not knowing it was a exorcism movie, a devil movie. As you know, Doc, through the years, they scare me. I don't like exorcism movies. But this one was unique. It was quite a bit of fun. It's another one of those ones that's really kind of hard to talk about because you don't want to ruin it for people. But where this ends up going is practical yet still surprising. So, I like that. So I enjoyed this quite a bit. Matter of fact, when we're done with this, I might flip on Shudder and watch it right now.
I want to watch this one again as well. All right, Jeff Mohr, you're up next. What is your first impression of The Cleansing Hour?
Yeah, this was. I don't know why I wasn't expecting a lot. I did. It's always good to see Kyle Gallner, who we just saw in Ghost of War.
Was that the Ghost of War, dude? Oh, I love him.
Yeah.
I love him.
And he was in Alien Code too, which I think I watched. I don't think we covered that. Well, it's a good flick. And we're back to Red State. You know, we've talked about Red State a couple times, but it took a little bit to get going. At first, I'm like going, okay, what is this? What's going to happen here? But about 30 minutes in, it kicks into high gear. And then with like 30 minutes left, I was wondering how in the hell are they going to keep this up for another 30 minutes of all out supernatural chicanery. But it did. Oh my God, it just kept ramping up. Very cool effects, as others have said. I loved, there's a very cool transformation scene.
Yes.
And we also get some hellhounds. Yeah, it's a very fun ride. So yeah, and the ending. I put that down too to emphasize that. And I think Alix and Angelis, who played Lane, she was incredible.
She did a great job. Yes.
That's what made a lot of this believable, I think.
See, I think the priest dude, the pastor, the faux father dude was phenomenal. I thought, he's not going to come off right because he's a little too good looking, but he was just fine. You know how sometimes they're like too good looking. And you're like, nope. Yep, he totally made it. Yeah. She's beautiful too. Same kind of thing. You know, it's like, what a beautiful looking cast to pull off.
Yeah. He was in Pretty Little Liars and Heroes Reborn when they tried to relaunch it.
You know, I like my Pretty Little Liars.
I know. Do you remember? He was Jake, so you know. All right. So my first impression is very much the same. I mentioned earlier, I love it when a film sticks a landing, and it just made everything pay off really for this. There's a lot of interaction. I mean, most of the action takes place in this one room, this set that they've built to do this exorcism. But at the same time, we've been introduced to a number of ancillary characters, ranging from a police officer to family watching it, to his kid watching it, to these two girls that our priest hooks up with, and they're all watching, and their reactions to it, especially toward the end, really make this give it a little extra spunk. It's a small thing, but yet it really gave it a layer that I liked. All the cast are fantastic. The special effects, both CGI and practical, are wonderful. Even when they aren't, maybe 100%, I didn't mind.
Okay.
Yeah, and there is a really cool design to a big bad here that I loved. I like the whole. So there's a whole lot of things going on with our characters. So we have our faux priest guy, the guy that's he has this really extravagant backstory, Catholicism backstory that is a big play in what's happening here, and I like it. It makes a lot of sense. And then you have his friend, his partner, who is doing all the technical work, and then his girlfriend, his fiance, he wants to marry her. is the one that's stand-in acting for the possessed person, and somehow somebody steps into the picture and things go wonky. And man, it really works. It's so simple, right? But yet it isn't. You know what I mean? So yeah,
there's a lot of story. There's a lot.
Well, there is, and it's just enough to give us the backstories to our characters, the ones that we want, without getting too mired in it. I was never uncomfortable feeling like I was caught in exposition hell. Right?
It all
felt
no.
Or confused people's place in the story. Nothing like that. I mean, everything made sense.
And
I think we actually needed the backstory because otherwise it wouldn't explain the relationship that the two male leads had. If you didn't know their backstory, you would never understand why one is holding on the way that he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it unfolded a little bit at a time as part of the plot, right? It fit perfectly in it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the characters are charismatic. Our two leads and our actress as well are all charismatic. And even though our faux priest is a bit of a prick, you still root for him. Well, he's a little conceited, he's a little bit of a prick. But
I don't see that.
Well, you root for him, right? You root for him, right? You kind of understand what he's doing. Even though
I guess I just felt like he had a good heart underneath it all.
Eventually it was revealed. I'm talking about like the first 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
He's just a normal person. He's not a real priest. He's not a real father. So I think we wind up putting all religious people up on pedestals, and we should not do that. That's a mistake because the moment that they fall, it fucks with our faith. Excuse me, but it does. I worked for way too long in the church to put any religious leaders up on a pedestal, and it helps a lot because you see it happening, and I'm like, they're just a person.
Yeah. Our two girls at the bar certainly don't seem that way, do they?
Oh, yeah. And see, that's exactly what I'm saying. They think he's like this exalted one.
Yeah, but it's a different pedestal. Different pedestal. All right. So, are there scares?
Yes.
Is this movie scary?
Yeah.
In moments, yeah.
I think the walk. You know what messed with me the most? Him walking on glass really bothered me. It was a torturous moment for me. It reminded me of like a persecution. It bothered me. I don't know. That was psychological, I guess.
I thought the demonic possession of the girl was really well done. It escalated in a timely but not rushed fashion, right? And it looked great, as you can see behind Crystal there on her shoulder. By the time she goes full exorcist, she was rocking it. There's one part where they pull out like a shirt or a coat or something, some kind of something.
I don't know what the hell.
It was cloth of some sort.
Yeah,
it was their religious cloth that they sell.
Oh, right.
Oh,
their
that's
fake
right.
religious
That's
cloth.
Right. Cloth draped over.
Yeah.
And oh man, it just came out. It was so gross. There's a couple of deaths in here that are fascinating, well done. Some of them are long, some of them are quick.
Well, I think they all were. Like it was like, oh, boom, you're dead. Boom, you're dead. Wow.
Well, one of them went on a little bit. Went all of it, and then there's this weird Saw moment that was kind of awesome from the first one, from the first Saw. Let's just say, keep an eye on the body on the floor. Because they make use of that, and it's I think all around.
And that's not giving anything away because there's several bodies on the floor.
There's several bodies on the floor by the time.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't your typical exorcism film. It has the same elements, but it's a totally different approach. And in this case, instead of testing their faith, our character actually has to find his faith again. And I like that approach. It was, it could have been shot down in flames, if you will, or he rose to the challenge. And you'll have to watch the movie to find out which one it ends up at. And we get a really cool little stinger, if you will, that I think just absolutely made the movie. If I was on the fence at that point, which I wasn't, but if I was, it would have made it a positive film. That 100%.
No, that
100%.
was really good. I was glad they did that. It was a nice little bow on the package.
It was. All right, so there you go. That's what we think of the film. So what we're going to do now is we're going to give our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. That's going to be fun. It's going to be fun because there's a lot to choose from, and we have to be delicate in some. So stick around for that. But first, if you are watching this far and still enjoying it, thank you. Thank you so much. And please subscribe below. Hit the like button. Hit the dislike button. Leave us some comments. We love hearing comments. And hit the little bell. Smash it, they say. And we'll get a notification.
Smash that like button.
That's what they say.
I hate that phrase.
Oh!
I hate it. I'm like, I'll smash your face.
Hammer it. Hammer time. All right. Spiel is over. Actually, I have one more. We want to thank our patrons.
Yay!
Yeehaw.
Yeah, our patrons make it very possible to not only do the Gruesome Magazine podcast, but also the H&R, Decades of Horror, a variety of those, and our Heroes and Droids podcast, along with GruesomeMagazine.com. Thank you guys all so much. It is greatly appreciated. And go to GruesomeMagazine.com/patron to find out how you can join them as well. Thank you. All right, it's time. It's time to do our final thoughts, our score, and favorite scene. Crystal, you're up first.
Okay. Obviously, I think you should watch this movie. It's really great. It's not as heavy. So the overall feel of the movie is serious, but to me, it didn't feel as heavy as a traditional exorcist film. It wasn't overwhelmed with religious aspects, even though it was. I wish I could explain it better, but the overall tone was lighter. Maybe because he's not an actual priest. Anyway, I'm going to give this a 4.
Ooh,
Yep.
That's high for you.
And my favorite scene, oh my God, it's not going to be a typical scene like you would think, but it is the show intro. I could not. I actually rewound it and watched it over and over because it was so funny. And it's like, ooh, oh my God, so good. I was like, I would watch that show. I would watch it.
You'd watch that show?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I would.
I feel like there's probably a half a dozen of those shows actually out there somewhere. Maybe not in the possession world, but in the ghost hunting world. It's definitely, yeah.
All of them are on the Travel Channel.
Oh,
just how they had him like. He's like,
he's so uncomfortable. All right. Dave, Dreher, you're up next. What is your final thoughts, your score, and favorite scene?
Well, I think we're all going to be in agreement here. This is a great little movie. Slap on that Shudder channel. Give this thing a spin.
Smash it.
Smash it. Yeah, smash it. Smash the Shudder channel. Crystal, I think, summed it up well because it really is. It's not as heavy. Like I said earlier, I tend to really kind of shy away from these type of movies. I usually only watch them because you make me, Doc. But this was a good one. I actually got involved in the story and ended up enjoying it quite a bit. It is a little lighthearted. There are definitely some funnier moments. I don't know if funnier is the right way, but there's some lighthearted moments, like when the girls are hoping that he has to take his clothes off, when the demon makes him strip. That was pretty good. But I'm going to go just a little bit higher than Crystal. I'm going to go 4.25.
Wow, nice.
And my favorite scene, I can't really, actually, I got 2. But I'm going to go with the coda, the ending, which I can't say anything about. But trust me, you want to watch this all the way through. I loved the fact that they tied in some of these ancillary characters that we've been seeing just in little bits and pieces throughout the film, and with that one particular one that ends up being the ending.
Yes.
I just thought I just loved how it was filmed too, because the reveal boy, it's really hard to talk about, but the reveal is kind of masterfully done. We don't really see anything, but we see everything.
Yep.
It's all done just through sound design and raising the camera at the right moment. So I appreciated that. I thought that was really good. I actually kind of cheered a little bit in my head. It was a head cheer, but it was still a cheer. It counts. Yeah, definitely check this one out. This one's a lot of fun.
Yeah. When it happens, when you know, you will know.
You'll know. Oh yeah.
You'll know. That's what he was talking about.
That's what he's talking about. Jeff Mohr, sir. What is your final thoughts? Your score? Favorite scene?
I'm totally with you guys. Lots of good effects. Pretty decent story that keeps you going. A bunch of relationships. So I'm giving it a 4.2, and
Yay.
I'm picking. I may have tipped this off already, but I'm picking the Hellhound scene when it plays.
Okay.
Plays with Chris. When it plays with Chris, I liked how that turned out. I thought that was great.
Oh man, that actually gets really bloody.
Yeah,
it does.
It doesn't start out bloody, but it gets really bloody. If you have an affinity to knives, or not affinity, but aversion to knives, you don't want to watch it. If you have affinity, you might want to watch it. All right. For me, it's very similar. I didn't know what to make of this. I did get the impression it was going to be far more a farce than it was. I guess we've seen a number of those where they kind of make fun of the haunted house people, or the what do you call them, ghost hunters and stuff like that. And I thought that's what this was going to be, just using exorcism instead. And it kind of is
started like that.
It turns into something else. And I think that's the juxtaposition they were going for. They were going for this, it's all fake. And then boom, what if it wasn't? And which isn't new in the respect of, these television shows that are after all this supernatural stuff. But it actually ended up being really unique and really interesting. It tests our characters in different ways, and you get caught up in it. It's a lot of fun. It's not so serious in its approach to the religious themes, although they're there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very also, not only are they there, they're actually important to the story and very they're there, right? They're not there. They're there. And but they're not weighty, they're not heavy. And the actors are great. They all are charismatic, and you want to watch them, you want to root for them, especially as the characters grow. And that's a great thing, is that a lot of times these films like this, the characters experience the event, but they don't always grow, and our characters do in this case. And I appreciate that. And of course, it sticks to the landing. We've already said that, and you want to stick around. So I'm going to give it a 4.25 as well. I have this one really wants to cling on to the top 10 for the year for me. I
think it might for me too.
I might have to cut somebody I actually gave a better score and let this one ride. Sometimes that happens in the top 10. It's like, this one actually didn't get the score, but time is like, which one made the biggest long-lasting impression sometimes weighs in. We'll see what happens a couple months from now, at the end of December. But favorite scene, you guys didn't take it. I'm taking it. The transformation scene. Oh my gosh.
Oh, well. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
There's a number of transformation scenes, to be honest, and this is the transformation scene, and you'll know what it is when you see it. And it's done extraordinarily well. We've been seeing a lot of unique approaches to a transformation. If you've watched Lovecraft Country, you've seen a few there. This one has some fun with it, and then the result of it is just, I thought, amazing looking. It looks like practical with a CGI layer. Would you say that was right, Dave?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Because it's got some amplified effects on it, but it's the Pazuzu thing that you want to figure out. We'll just put it that way. And it's there, and it's awesome. I'm less vague than I probably should have been. We'll put it that way.
Pazuzu?
Pazuzu.
Oh.
That's
The Exorcist.
yeah.
Did it sound like I said Zuzu?
I have
No,
one
no,
around
I'm
here
just
somewhere.
His Zuzu.
Pazuzu.
I'm just failing at being funny again. That's all.
Yeah, you might see
Oh.
you might see his Zuzu as well, but maybe not. I don't know.
Who did they think it was before that? Abaddon or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Hammond,
Yeah.
Hammond.
Yeah, I like it. No, this is my list.
Mm.
I love it. I love it. It was you got there's like some underlying threads that really pay off. This is a smart film for being wired the way it is. It's
Yeah.
it's a good film. So it's on Shudder. Smash that Shudder button. Go watch Shudder. You guys have it. You're watching this. You have Shudder, and this is part of their
Smash it.
Better.
Smash it.
they're part of their 61 days.
Signing up.
61 days of October.
Yes, we've got a few more of them to
Make
review.
Comments.
yes, do that, and subscribe. All right, Crystal, Dave, Jeff, thank you for joining me. This was a great conversation. Thank you.
Thanks for
That's a
having me.
You're
All
welcome.
All right, let's say good night.
Good night.